All right, my friends, it's T-Man. We back again with another video on good friend JasonBlaha, strength and fitness, baloney fitness, man. You know, the gym lifting, recruiting, lifting slave. Yes, man. We are going to do another video again on him today. So JasonBlaha says, people doing 20 plus sets per muscle usually are not training hard. They're not training hard enough. Yes. You're not training hard enough to allocate those little resources that you have to build the muscle. You have to lift to allocate instead of eat to build, which is a lot easier. Okay. Let's see people how they climb up hills with boulders trying to make it to the top.
If you are doing 20 plus sets for a muscle group per week, you probably just aren't training that hard. Hey everybody, I thought I would chat with you guys and gals
See, if you're not doing that many, you're not training that hard. Come on.
a little bit about this today. And you know, the simple reality is nowhere has it ever been required for people to do those sort of volumes. In other words,
Really?
yes, there have been a few recent studies that show
Man, look, bodybuilding's technical. It has not, but man, you could equate it still in the natural world, how muscles are built. Look, man, they're built for specific reasons. They're only ever built in an adaptation. Now, one guy's going to tell you, is going to debunk me, say, well, muscles can build without getting damaged. It's that, yeah, I could tell you that a muscle can possibly get a donation by the satellite cell if it's frequently how should I put it? If you're working on a construction site for, what is it, 8 hours a day in construction, and you're picking up heavy wheelbarrows and bringing them back and forth and picking up heavy stuff, and it's usually consistent. It's consistent over time. Consistent. Eventually, something is going to give. I've mentioned this before, walking with buckets of water for hours and hours and hours. I'm not talking about stupid farmer walks, walking around for a couple of seconds, dropping the weight, whatever. I'm talking about literally this tension is on your body for hours. Of course it's going to give. Of course it's going to donate nuclei. Of course it's going to allocate the little resources that are in your body that you're eating to build these muscles, because man, they need to strengthen you, because it's gonna be overwhelming for you to keep constantly lift heavy weight. Do you want to be a small pretend strong guy on a construction site? You'll be diminished, you'll deteriorate, you'll diminish yourself. You'll finish, you'll be kaput. You understand me? Yeah, it'll be so taxing. So the body has to give. It gives in certain circumstances. Okay, so yeah, especially those many hours working on the job. Now, what Blaha is proposing here is he wants you to lift. He wants you to keep lifting, or whatever it is he's doing. He's 20 plus reps or whatever, because he wants you to. Let's look. It's really hard to get the little amount of food that you're eating to allocate those little amount of nutrients into the muscles by exercising a lot, but doing it in a short period of time. That's what he's advocating.
potentially for some groups of people
Listen to what he says.
Very, very small muscle growth benefits over doing that many sets. But historically, there have been just as many.
He equates sets with muscle growth. You understand me? He's trying to make you climb uphill with a boulder. He wants you to do all these sets so that you could stress your body to allocate the small amount of resources that you're eating, your McDonald's, your domesticated diet there, the fake diet your fake diet that you're eating, and allocate the small amount of resources and shuffle them into your muscles. You understand me? That's insane. That's why I try to tell you, it's a lot easier to go eat a lot all day, all night, being in anabolic growth state, and your muscles will grow automatically. You won't have to go through all this crazy lifting, you understand me, to build your body. This is ridiculous to try to shuffle the small amount of resources into your muscles because I'm a lifting slave. Hello. That's why nobody's making it in the gym. You understand me? It's not based on You're not gonna be lifting for 8 hours in the gym. That's why people complain about other people. They go, well, why are these people lifting for 3 hours or 4 hours? They're lifting for 3 hours in the gym. A lot of crazy people, because they're coming in every day lifting for 3 hours. Some people, I don't know, because they're trying to get the small amount of food that they're eating to build the muscle. Get it by stressing it, which is insane, dude.
Studies that have showed the opposite, that even 8-10 sets has produced nearly maximum, and in some cases maximal muscle growth in studies.
See, 8 to 10 sets are gonna create maximal muscle growth. How many people out there believe that a weight is gonna build a muscle? Well, a weight's not gonna build a muscle, but we do know that weights stress muscles, right? But it's, again, trying to stress your muscles to the point where they will shuffle the small amount of nutrients to build muscle is insane, is insanity. You understand me? It has to be, it's on a daily basis. I told you, it's repetitive, certain things that people are doing in construction or these jobs. It's very particular. And it doesn't build that much. It builds, but not that much. It builds to a certain degree. And I don't know how much they're eating on the construction side. A lot of people eat a lot. They've got money, okay? They're not poor. They're eating too.
The sets were hard, and we've seen all through history plenty of people build phenomenal physiques.
I have never seen anybody in the gym build a phenomenal physique by just lifting weights and eating their whatever it is they're eating, their 3 meals a day, and trying to build their body. It's never going to build. That's why they're all complaining, Blaha. I've reached my newbie gain limit. I reached the genetic limit. I'm a hard gainer and all this kind of weird shit, bro.
Relatively low volumes of training, okay? And I'm not just talking about the Menzer guys who are on lots of gear and all of that.
I told you before, I could beat anybody at building muscle and getting super strong. You know how I do it? I get a whole bunch of money and I go down to a local buffet and I eat there twice a day. I eat there for lunch and dinner for hours and hours and hours, okay? Well, not necessarily go there twice a day, but I would eat there every day at the buffet for lunch. I'd eat my breakfast at home a lot, and then go down to the buffet, eat a lot, and just keep expanding my stomach to get bigger and to accommodate more food, more calories, whatever you want to call it, and just keep growing, being in an anabolic growth state. So I'm in a positive nitrogen balance, so I keep growing. There isn't anything interfering there. I'm going to keep growing, get it? No matter what I lift in the gym, you're going to keep growing. You understand me? To a degree. But I'm more of a repair and a remodeling channel. You understand me? I'm more of a muscle damage channel, because it's better to build something permanent than just try to get something to expand. It'll shrink eventually.
I'm talking about pretty much a wide variety of people. And I've known coaches out there. I've known lifters over the course of my life.
I'm not saying that getting an adaptation, which is correlated with muscle damage, going to the gym is a bad thing. That's a good thing to get these adaptations so you could create some more real myofibrillars in that respect, in that regard. But if you just want to expand, and some people keep talking about myonuclei overload, these nuclei, yes, they synthesize protein. You could eventually get the progenitor to donate more nuclei to that domain. It's very specific. It's tricky. Bodybuilding is tricky. But you have to look at the experience in the real world. Look around and see, how are other people doing it on these jobs? How are these construction workers getting big traps and whatever? What exactly are they doing? How many hours are they doing this for? What are they eating, and so forth and so on? So your real world experience is going to teach you these things, and then you can carry them over to bodybuilding. That's why I think people are daft. I told you before, when you go for the first time, you start hammering nails in a wall, your arm is going to hurt for days. There's a repair and a remodeling there. Now it never gets damaged again. Will it get bigger? Well, that's relative. Depends what you're eating. Depends what you're doing. I don't know. If you're doing it repetitively and you wanted to allocate the little resources that you have, yes, that forearm and arm will get bigger for sure. You understand me? It'll blow up, definitely.
Who actually had very impressive physiques.
But I mean, we're talking about hammering for 8 hours straight every day.
Or had very impressive levels of strength, who just simply didn't train to that degree. They didn't do even 15 or 20 sets of a muscle group. I've known people who do 10.
I can only tell you this: Blaha is wasting his time. And a good majority of people that are out there lifting are wasting their time because they just don't understand how this works.
Or less for years and years on end who got phenomenal results. Why? Because they trained hard.
Which people, Blaha, on steroids or off? Look at you. Why do you keep talking about other people that got phenomenal gains and you can't produce any? You're not producing any. Look at you. Talk about you. Stop talking about the other people. You keep talking about other people, but you can't accomplish your own goals. Come on, man.
And they trained consistently. And
you train consistently and we see nothing. You keep complaining about small arms, this, that. When's the last time you measured your arms? And then now you should measure them again after you've been doing all these exercises. Have they grown? No, look, they got smaller, guys. Look at his arms. His arms are tiny. They're like, I don't know, 14-inch arms, 13.
Here's my problem with a lot of this is that I've also seen, in spite of some people claiming, well, you know, we can do this much, I've also seen extremely high rates of injuries among people who train with those high volumes. I've also seen tons of wheel spinning in my life.
I don't care how much Blaha could lift. Blaha is small, therefore he's weak. He's small and he's weak, okay?
Including clients. I've had clients who came to me who were doing those sort of volumes, 20, 25 sets for muscle groups on programs they found online or some influencer someone gave them, and they did them and they made no gains. None. Completely stagnated. Completely stagnated. In some cases, it's been advanced lifters who stagnated for 2 years, and then I took their volumes down to less than half of what they were doing, and then they started making gains again. They got bigger, they got stronger. I've also seen it in novices. Okay? I have seen novice lifters trying to do these sort of volumes who were stuck at 4 or 5 reps with 135 on a bench press. And they're like, I just can't get stronger, I can't get bigger. They're like, I'm even gaining a little bit of weight and I just seem to be gaining fat while doing these sort of volumes. Who again, they have got it from someone online. I had a perfect example. I had a client who came to me who was in that strength level. And
I mean, what do you think these little weights are going to do? These little 10-pound weights. What do you think they're going to do exactly?
A DEXA scan and came back at like 27, 28% body fat, not even at a really heavy body weight. He was doing some program he found online with 26 sets for his chest a week. And he's like, well, when I go to bench press 135, I can only get 5 reps. That's it.
Think about it. If I go to the gym and I do a full body workout every single day, all right, every single day, maybe 1 day off. I go 6 days a week, 1 day off, 6 days a week, 1 day off, 6 days a week. And I do the exact same exercises every time I go in there. Okay, I do the exact same things. Will my muscles grow? Will they grow on my 3 meal a day? I don't change my meals. My meals are exactly the same. I eat the exact same food, whatever, every single day. And I do the exact same exercises every day. I keep coming into the gym. Will I grow? Will you grow? Well, you have to try and find out. See what I mean? It's an experiment. Get it, dude? To see if the small amount of nutrients you're eating will shuffle into the muscles and they'll be forced to grow because you're lifting every single day, 6 days a week, doing the exact same exercises. You understand me? Doing the exact same exercises nonstop for, I don't know, maybe 2 hours every day or something, whatever. So there you go.
And it wasn't because he was lack of eating, because had been.
It's something you're going to have to experiment with. I can't tell you, but that has nothing to do with this so-called nuclei overload training the way they do it. You could maybe equate it to that. It's complicated.
Gaining body fat. He was just flat overtraining. Flat overtraining. By the way, for those curious, that same lifter.
Now he says you're overtraining. What happens if a muscle is overtrained? What will happen to it? Will it just die and go away? Or will it grow with the small amount of nutrients that you're eating?
Does 200 pounds
on your fake diet
for 6 or 7 reps on the bench press right now. The time this video's made. But he was stuck for months And I've seen this happen over and over and over.
Over and over.
The simple reality is when you're doing those sort of volumes, the odds that you're recovering workout to workout are low. What also ends up happening is that your workouts are just junk volume, meaning
Do you want to secure your financial future?
you're not even getting the faster twitch muscle fibers. They're not even getting stimulated because they're so burned out early on that they're not even being recruited later in your workouts. Or the same thing, people are
They're so burnt out. How would he know? Has he ever experimented doing any of these things? Look, I've experimented doing a lot of stuff when it comes to bodybuilding and lifting. So I already know how they work. That's why I'm bringing them up in this video. I'm just saying it's something that you need to experiment yourself to figure it out. See what I mean? To find out what is the, here's the thing. When you want to get to your destination, right? The destination, you want to figure out what is the best means of getting to the destination. You have a high-speed rail, you have a car, you have an airplane, high-speed rail, a car, and then you have a bicycle. Which one would you pick? Which one will get you to your destination the quickest, the fastest, and the most efficient way? Think about that. Which one will get you there? Which one is the safest? Which one is the best? And to get you there efficiently, which one would you take? See what I mean? You figure it out, man. It's not hard to figure out. See what I mean?
you know, they're doing 15 sets for a muscle group, or even 12 or 15 once a week, and they're coming back trying to hit it a second time. Well, so much for that. That doesn't work either because they're still not recovered enough, and so then their performance is completely lackluster, and they seem to just stagnate. They don't make gains. They don't make gains at all. Usually when I find these people do these sort of volumes,
they don't make gains because they're not doing something properly. They're not doing it properly. They're just not doing it properly, that's all. They're just wasting their time.
They tend to only make, and I've seen it quite a few times with lifters who've come to me, they're making lower body gains because they're doing a little less, right? So they're doing that sort of volume for upper body, and they're like, no, my upper body's not really getting bigger or stronger appreciably. And I'm talking even new gains, but then there's...
At this point, you're becoming an endurance athlete. You understand me? You're an endurance athlete because lifting is endurance. Lifting, consistent lifting in the gym is endurance. You are an endurance athlete.
Squats are going up. But then you look at what they're doing, they're only doing like 10 sets for their quads and glutes, right? 10 or 12 sets.
I mean, look at Blaha. He's become an endurance athlete. He's lifting every day in his garage. He's endurance. This is endurance. He's just getting better at doing these things.
But they're pushing them pretty hard with progressive overload. So then their legs are growing, their legs are getting stronger, which is good, better than the guys who don't train them at all. You see where we're going within their doing.
Yeah, the people on the construction site, I don't know, they've been working there for 20 odd years, right? But I don't want to take 10 years to try to build my body because I'm going to try to allocate the small amount of resources into my muscles by moving around objects all day for 8 hours a day on the construction site too. Get it? See what I mean? I'm not saying you can't come into a gym and try to build a muscle on a very low caloric diet, which you people think you can build muscles on, which is crazy. But yeah, that is really climbing uphill. But you could keep coming in there every day doing the exact same exercises, lifting for years. I'm not saying that those muscles will not build, but it'll take you a long time, maybe 10 years, like Blaha said in this previous video. You would have to come in there doing that for 10 years straight. Can you imagine that? Is that efficient? Is that the most efficient and best way to do it? Let me see, by lifting every day, being a lifting slave, let me see if the small amount of calories I eat will build the muscle eventually. It will, but it'll take 10 years. Oh, hey, and then there's your friend over there. He's like, hey, let me see if I could build my muscles if I eat in an anabolic growth state. When I convert the catabolic hormone to an androgen so it doesn't compete with the myocytic androgen receptor. And then I'll come in the gym and I'll lift. I won't even lift often. I'll lift infrequently and see how my body builds. What do you think? Who do you think is going to build faster? The dude that is eating all day in an anabolic growth state and free and just coming in infrequently to the gym lifting, or the dude that's lifting frequently coming into the gym as a lifting slave, trying to allocate the small amount of resources and in hopes that it would shuttle into the muscles and build the muscles? Give me a break, bro.
Over double the volume sometimes for the upper body muscles, and it's just completely stagnating. They're just overtraining. Okay, they're overtraining, and I would suggest to most people.
Yeah, that's like people where they say they're in a job, because let's say I have friends. They were complaining. They said I'm overworked. I have to sleep a lot, or I'm gonna die. Yeah, they're overworked, and sometimes they're not even eating enough. They're overworked at this point. They're too overworked. They need time off from the job. Yeah, if you overwork yourself, you could die. You could die lifting. People have died lifting weights. They die young because you're overworking yourself, which is, again, stress and shortening your lifespan. People have died lifting. Is this healthy? Is lifting healthy? No, absolutely not. Now, in moderation, maybe it could help you if you want to be fit. But anything over that amount is just insane.
For the average lifter, I would rarely even go over 10 to 12 sets for a muscle. Very rarely, especially if they're hard sets. I've had clients make down in the 6 to 8 set range, make pretty good gains.
See, again, he's advocating that sets are going to build the muscle, and they made pretty good gains by lifting weights, eating McDonald's. Okay.
And not always noobs either, not always noobs. And with novice lifters, they don't need much volume. They just need to train hard with progressive overload and master the form. And as long as they don't try to just beat themselves into the ground, they'll usually make gains. But it's always...
They make gains, these new people, these newbies and all this, and these whatever novices, because you got an adaptation. That's totally different. An adaptation where you awoken the progenitor cell. It was in a damaged state. That is one way to get muscles to grow. Yes, definitely. That is one way. But here's the thing. It's going to require more resources the second time around. If you get an adaptation, it requires more resources in what? In nutrients, in protein, bro. Get it? Because it'll become apoptotic. Yeah.
When, well, I'm trying to do 5 different chest exercises, that's when they run into problems. They're doing flat bench, incline bench, flies, dips, all of that, and with excessive numbers of sets, and then they have no chest. Same thing with the arm stuff. And what ends up happening is that people's training just gets lazy. It's just a bunch of garbage quality reps, no intensity, and them just cheating and flopping around because quite frankly, it's hard to stay focused and it's hard to stay motivated. So for people to stay motivated, they just use bad form and flop weights around just trying to get through these super long, ridiculous workouts. Then the muscles end up getting less tension, and overall it just turns into a big mess to where they're not making gains. Their body starts hurting all the time because of overuse, because too much volume, and then too many cheat reps, because again, they're more flopping around than actually trying to do reps correctly. And I've seen it so many times. And so I would say to people, odds are you're not training hard. You might think you are, but if you really start recording and looking at it when you're doing that sort of volume, what ends up happening most of the time, your set quality is garbage. Your rep quality is garbage. You're really not training hard. You're just trying to get through the workout. And I've experimented even with some of the really high set training again, just to see how it felt. It's exactly what happens. You start getting lazy during the sets. You start doing 5-6 reps in reserve on everything just to make it through the workout. It's exactly what happens.
Blaha's getting smaller. Look at him. He's getting a lot smaller.
So it ends up turning into lazy, useless training with a bunch of junk volume, or people just simply overtrain. So people really aren't training that hard when they do this. And again, it's been my experience observing people. It's been my experience even when I've tried to experiment with it. So again, I would say for most people, around 10 sets is your good starting point, is a sweet spot, and then you can assess it from there. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you.
Yes, I guess this is for the slaves and the poor people and the lazy people that can't afford to eat or don't want to eat, right? Okay. Or they want to eat a fake diet, man, fake diet, because they don't want to eat enough protein to build muscles. But okay, whatever. Fake diets, artificial diets aren't going to build your muscles, that's for sure. Protein builds muscles, but protein synthesis needs to exceed breakdown in order to build. See what I mean? It needs to exceed that breakdown in order to build. If it doesn't exceed that breakdown, it's not really going to build. But then again, Blaha is going to convince you that lifting weights are going to build a muscle. You understand me? It's not food that's going to build the muscle, it's the weights. Now, I'm not saying over time, if you keep stressing it, it shuttle these small resources, yes. But it has to be for, the motions have to be repetitive for hours and hours and hours, walking with a heavy weight, I don't know, across country or something for 8 hours a day, or whatever that's going on over there. It depends on how long you're doing this for. That stress has to be consistent, daily, whatever, over repetitively. Something will give eventually there, but yeah, I'm not waiting for those things to happen. But I guess some people are like Blaha, is waiting for a miracle to happen. Maybe if I just keep lifting, it'll eventually grow. Even though I'm not eating anything, I'm on a breatharian diet. Anyways, tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. I'll see you in the next time, in the next one, friends. Helps with the algorithm. Comment down below. Yeah, I don't build my muscles on breatharian diets, dude. That's just ridiculous. See you later, man.